Drag queens in the history of the LGBT community have been on the forefront of some of the biggest uprisings for our human rights. We kind of all know what a drag queen means. You dress in gender non-conforming clothes, you put on makeup, exaggerated maybe for drama or satirical effect. While drag is associated with the gay community and gay men, it's really not about one sexuality. Think Mrs. Brown, think Dame Edna. Also, there's all sorts of drag queens. There's those who are professional, who do it in movies or film, like RuPaul or the infamous Divine. And then there are those who just try it for fun or occasionally. Also, there are those who might be just comfortable in the opposite gender's clothing, and those we would call maybe a cross-dresser. There's also other types of drag queens, drag. There's drag kings, who are women who dress in masculine and men's clothes. And there's faux queens, who are females, but they exaggerate and dress like drag queens. So you can tell that this episode has to do a lot about drag. But before we start on that, we have a very exciting episode as well. We have Kate Johnson replacing Kat Grant, who is not feeling well, so we wish her all the best. And she's going to be interviewing Margo MacDonald. Boyd Kodak is going to be speaking with Jessica May, a musician, and her daughter Stella Skinner, a much-hailed trans activist, and at her tender age of, I believe, 9 now. And she's a very special girl. I can't wait for you to meet her. And we have Adé Johnson on his Youth Corner visiting with DJ Pleasure. My guest, Amanda Roberts, has been entertaining audiences since 1992. She is former Miss Gay Toronto and Miss Heart of America. She has performed locally and internationally. She is one of our local drag icons. Everyone, help me welcome Amanda Roberts. Woohoo! Welcome, Annie. You're a lovely presence on Facebook, and I've always wanted to have you on the cast here. So, Amanda, what is drag in your own mind? What do you do? Why do you do what you do?
Because I love being on stage.
So
I love being in front of an audience and being able to make people laugh. And just, somebody might be having a rotten day. If I could make them laugh and cheer them up and make them forget their troubles, that's what's special to me.
When did you get your start? How did you get your start? One of my friends was dating Chris Edwards. Oh, my.
And I got introduced to Chris Edwards, and we would go hang out, and we'd go out after the shows to the Golden Griddle. And then,
college?
Yeah, we always went to the Golden Griddle. And then we go bowling and everything, too. And it was a big group. It was like Georgia Girl, Robin Loren.
Oh, God.
Robin Loren and I were the boys in the group.
Okay.
And then finally, Robin thought, I'll do drag. So she did drag, and 2 weeks later, Jeanette and Chris convinced me to do it. So Jeanette Dupree put me in drag in Chris's apartment, and I thought, okay, just do it once and leave me alone. I even shaved off a beard to do it. But then I thought, I was on stage, and I was like, this is where I'm meant to be.
Aww.
And never stopped since.
She just mentioned in about a sentence every icon of drag in our community. These are, you know what? Find their history, because these are the fabulous people who made our community. What is the most fun thing about doing drag?
The being on stage and the reaction from the audience.
Yeah.
And
so you feed off it.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. The energy. But even for me, because sometimes, the crowd might be a little small, and you might not get a lot of energy off them, but I dig inside myself and still keep doing it. And because I know some people are a little frustrated and they'll relax if there's no crowd, but I still try and give it my 100%, because that one person matters.
I was going to say, whoever came out to enjoy you, better have a good time. Yeah. What is the most challenging things about doing drag?
Keeping yourself current in some ways.
Fair enough.
I work on an old school show, so I don't have to worry too much about the music. Okay. But just keeping yourself out there, the people still want to book you, and keeping a good reputation.
How do you do that, actually? How do you get your bookings?
Just be professional, and I've been a Woody's girl for many years, So I keep
She's available for bookings.
Yes, I am. And I love to tour. I will go anywhere in the
She'll go anywhere.
world.
She's
I
easy.
love. I'm actually trying to work on organizing a Chicago trip in
awesome.
July.
So we're gonna talk more about that, but we're gonna take a little break, and we're gonna join Kate Johnson and her guest Margo MacDonald, and we'll be back with the lovely Amanda shortly. Everyone, yay!
Thank you, Antoine. I'm Kate Johnston. I'm sitting in for Kat Grant, who is unfortunately under the weather today. I'm here to interview the wonderful and talented award-winning actor and playwright, Margo MacDonald. Welcome, Margo.
Thank you, Kate.
When did you first start acting?
I really knew that I wanted to be an actor and pursue that as my life's career when I was 5. And my parents took me to see a production of Oliver the Musical, and it was the first professional show that I had ever seen. It's the first time I realized that you could do that for a living, and here I am.
It's wonderful. And when did you first start writing?
Also working as a playwright as well as acting for about 10 or 12 years now. But I did often create collaboratively with people, just the idea of being a solo playwright, working on ideas that were things that I wanted to focus on.
And what inspires you to create story?
I love finding those little lost pieces of history that have been either swept under the rug or been forgotten about, especially when it comes to women's or queer history of any kind. And those are the stories that inspire me to write and show them on stage and bring them out into the world so that more people can know these forgotten and lost and suppressed pieces of history.
Which brings me to The Elephant Girls. It's a play that I saw. She had won 5 awards for this play. 2, I believe, are Critics' Choice Awards for writing and performing. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about The Elephant Girls, the play?
The Elephant Girls is a fascinating story. I just stumbled across, somebody mentioned it idly on Facebook of all places one day. Have you ever heard of the 40 Elephants? They were a real-life all-female gang in London, England. They operated from about the 1840s to about 1950 and somehow had been completely forgotten about. They're mostly thieves, and as soon as I heard about their story, including the fact that they also had a handful of women who dressed as men and performed the more dangerous roles, I knew that I had to write a show about it.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
What are you currently working on?
Oh, I'm just finishing a brand new play. It's the biggest thing I've ever written. It's a massive epic taking place in 17th century France. It's based on a lost story of Julie Maupin, who was a bisexual, cross-dressing sword fighter, opera singer, and duelist. And the play is it's going to be huge if I can find someone with the money and the guts to produce it.
Right, and are you touring The Elephant Girls still?
I am, yes, whenever I can. I'm pretty easy to find. I'm on Facebook, Margo MacDonald, it's M-A-C, and also under my company, my producing company's name, Perry Repost Productions. My website's www.perryrepost.ca, or you can find me on Facebook under The Elephant Girls.
Thank you so much, Margo. So informative. You're such a wonderful performer and writer. Thank you for being here today.
Thanks very much.
Back to you, Antoine.
Everyone, we're back with the lovely Amanda Roberts. Yay! All right. So, Amanda, you have traveled and been around, as we just mentioned before the break. Where has your art taken you, and any cherished memories you can share with us?
Well, I've performed in a lot of clubs in New York City and Chicago. My favorite place there is the Baton Show Lounge, which is worldwide known. and then I've done Bermuda and Ireland, and one of my very special ones was Scotland, because I was conceived in Scotland, so when I went back to Scotland, I got to see the house where my parents lived when they conceived me. And I was brought over by these guys who used to come to Toronto all the time. And one of them was celebrating the birthday, so I was the surprise guest at the birthday, and they took care of me like gold. And it was very special.
Cute story. And you are international. Jeez.
Yes.
Yeah. Go. You've been in the movies.
Yeah.
I love the movies.
Some
You've
we
been
won't
actually
mention.
in one of my most favorite movies. Tell us what you've been in, and you know which one I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So go ahead.
Yes, you're talking about Studio 54.
Studio 54.
But hopefully you've seen the director's cut, because the
You've been
director's
saying
cut
that,
is way better than the
is it?
original.
Okay. No,
yeah,
I
it's
gotta get
funny.
back on
When it was filmed, there was a lot of more raunchy stuff, and like more drug use and all that, like what the club really was like.
Yeah.
And a lot of it didn't seem to make it
They
into the film.
sanitized it. They cut all that out. Yeah.
And but it was fun working on it. I actually worked quite a few days, and got to meet Mike Myers. But of course, Ryan Felipe, seeing him on set every
yes.
day.
Yeah.
But one of the Matthew, I'm forgetting Matthew. Cameron Matheson. That's his name. He's famous now too.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was in it, and he's from Toronto originally.
Was he?
And he was really sweet.
Beautiful. All right. But there is a director's cut. I gotta find that.
There is.
All right. Where are you performing these days?
I perform at Woody's.
Woody's?
And I'm also with a group called Deceiving Divas.
Oh, you're doing that
Yes,
too.
so we do a little touring. We go to, we were just in Sudbury and North Bay.
Deceiving Diva, is that with, I can't remember her name.
Fahrenheit.
John Rivers?
Joan Rivers
Yeah.
is our host,
Yeah.
and Fahrenheit, isn't
Yeah.
it? Myself, Michelle Ross.
Oh, wow.
And there's some other people that have been a part of it too.
How is drag these days compared to the times that passed? We know that each generation has their style or their challenges. Yeah, what do you feel about the drag scene these days?
I think a lot of it is just the same. We've gone through different trends of like you have to look really fishy and girly, and then now we're back to more big dramatic makeup. And a lot of that's to do with RuPaul's Drag Race, because all these queens want to look exactly like somebody from RuPaul's Drag Race. And I don't understand why you would want to be a copy of somebody else when you can be an original. So yeah, I love it. I like RuPaul's Drag Race, but I think it's had some effects. I'm kind of like, oh, please don't do that.
Okay, fair enough. You do some impersonations of some of my favorite ladies and one man. Who do you do?
Well, the first one I did was Celine Dion, because right from the start, people told me I looked like her.
You know what? Yes.
Yeah, from the
Yeah.
very first time in drag, and back then she only had one English album, and I didn't even know what she looked like. But then I do Cher, I do Madonna, I do
Madonna.
Annie Lennox, Alanis Morissette,
And the man?
and the man,
John.
I do John Lennon.
John Lennon.
Because I was always told way back, because at one point I had brown glasses and long hair, and everybody said, you look like John Lennon. So I thought, I got to work this into an act. So I created an act where I start out in full drag, and I strip down and become John Lennon.
Oh, God.
To imagine.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Give us some share.
I have to stand up for that.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yay! And with that, see everyone, you got Amanda Roberts and Cher on our show today. And we're gonna take a little break. We're gonna check in with Boyd Kodak and Jessica May and Stella Skinner, and then Addy after that, and we'll be back with Amanda. So we'll see you soon. All right.
Hi, Boyd Kodak here, and I'm delighted tonight to have with me the lovely Jessica and Stella. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, start off with, let's talk a little bit about your unique family.
It's a little different. There's 3 parents and 4 kids. We call ourselves polyfidelitous, so there's more than 2, but we never add to the group or take away. We have this strong family of 7, and it sounds a little different, but you kind of get more parental supervision. It's kind of a great thing. We have a good time of it, right?
And I understand that you recently had a return to the stage. Can we hear a bit about that?
Yeah, I used to play all the time in Ottawa. I played bars, and then when I became a mom, I kind of just did my mom thing. So I played in Acton. You can find it on maytunes.com. I also have some originals. It's kind of Canadiana, recent news in Canada. I feel like we just don't talk about ourselves enough.
Well, and you play with ukulele? Is that
Yeah, I play the ukulele at her school and singing to little children, and it finally gave me like the strength to go out there and share it with other people. So
Stella was also the poster child in 2016 for
The ban of conversion therapy.
Yeah. So you've done a tremendous amount of work in activism.
I don't even know why I started activism. I don't remember when. I don't remember why.
we figured out we figured out you're trans, right? It's like took a long time to figure that out, but when we did, we needed an event, right? So we went to an event and we saw that it wasn't just a simple like celebration, but that there was nuance and concern within our group, and our community was not always seeing eye to eye, right? So we decided that we would do what we could to feel a part of the community and see what kind of change that we could make, right? At least that's what I remember.
Even the smallest voice can make a difference.
Even the smallest voice, right?
That's very, very true. And your voice has made a humongous difference for so many people, not just you. Are you planning to do some more activism in your future?
Well, speaking, yeah, I enjoy speaking. I enjoy going to Toronto with Mother. I enjoy it. Toronto is a great place. Beautiful. And I don't know, like, sure, I'm going to do activism in the future. Obviously, I've accomplished so much, I can't just give up now, right? Like,
Very true.
because once you accomplish a certain amount of something, you can't turn back.
No, and people actually expect more because they expect to,
Because you've already achieved
so
this
much.
much. People are expecting more. People need more.
People need more too, and hope for more.
Yeah. You can't turn back because you've come so far.
Perfect. Thank you guys so very, very much for coming and being on our show tonight.
Anything you asked, we're coming, Void.
Sounds great. And
I'll
vice
be
versa.
Welcome to Youth Corner. I am your host, Adé Johnson, and I'm sitting here today with one of my favorite DJs and really good friend, DJ Pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here, and I just want to get into it with you. So tell us about DJ and what got you into DJing, and what does DJing mean for you?
Honestly, DJing for me is just about being able to have fun while at the clubs, being out in the public, either if it's a community event, if it's a nightclub, if it's at home, just playing music online. For me, it's just about having fun, enjoying different genres of music, different styles of music, and being able to produce or remix a track that you heard a long time ago and being able to make it into something different now that people will know, oh, that was DJ Pleasure or that was so-and-so. So that's more for me.
Okay, that's amazing. And I know you have some summer events coming up, and you just started one of your summer events, 5,
Yes.
which was a success. So congrats on that.
Thank you,
again.
thank you.
And you have another one coming up, Brunch and R&B.
Yes.
So do you want to tell us about those events and what's the plan for them?
For sure. Brunch and R&B is a very laid back community event where we're going to be having different DJ each time, or mixing it up, where it's going to be a day party and a brunch, good vibes, good people, mix and mingle kind of thing. And just being able to lay back. It's the summertime, it's hot, either if it's on a rooftop, if it's just in a patio, whatever it is. It's honestly just about good food, good vibes.
And the 5 party?
5 is going to be something different. We're trying to put it out for every month, where it's just different DJ, different style, different genres each month, and just about having fun. Honestly, it's about going out, coming out to the clubs early and just enjoying your time, and being able to know that you had a good time, and that's all it's about.
Tell us like your first time DJing. What was that rush like, and where did you start it out? Like your biggest main stage, basically.
I'd say it was Pride Blockorama, and I had an earlier set in the day, and one of my mentors, DJ Black Cat, he brought me out later on that night during his set to play, and just imagine a sea of people and just being completely nervous, and for me, so that it was, but you know what, he's been there for me and helped me move forward and learn different things, and I have other couple DJs that I look up to, and they've helped me over the years to get to where I am now, and build my name, so I'm very appreciative of them and what they've done for me over the years.
What's your give back to young upcoming DJs? Challenges or aspiration? Like what's there for them to look forward to?
It's all about practice and learning, having the ear for it, and do what you love, and just keep going. And if you're not sure, ask. Don't be scared to ask.
So thank you so much for being here with us on the Couch, DJ. Pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure interviewing you, and we're gonna head back over to Antoine.
And we are back, everyone. Hey. In this section, we like to know the person behind the persona. So let's talk about where were you born? Where did you grow up? How was your childhood? Share with us.
I was born in Hamilton, Ontario.
How about conceived in Scotland?
I was conceived in Scotland, yes. My mom was 5 months pregnant when they moved to Canada.
Okay.
So, yes, I always say I'm Scottish.
Stick with it.
I still
It's more
say I'm
exotic.
Scottish. And my childhood was
So you
good.
were raised in
I have a
Hamilton also?
sister, yes.
Yeah, okay.
And my parents were great. We were always laughing in the home.
Mm-hmm.
And like people told me once that you become very sarcastic when you became a drag queen. I said, no, I became sarcastic from childhood because we
My
would cut
family
each
made you
other up in the house all the time. So that's just, I got my sense of humor from my family, and that's a Scottish background too.
You're out to the family?
Well, I didn't have to come out because my mother found the magazine, so, you know, and we never spoke about it again. I walked into the house late at night, she was laying on the couch, just like, I saw what was under your mattress, and I'm like, you shouldn't have been cleaning my room. And I walked out, and we never spoken about it again. But I did come out to her as a performer.
Okay.
I told her about drag because, and I sat her down, and what I told her, she says, "You're not stripping, are you?" I'm like, Mom, there's no need for that. There's no call for that. Nobody want to see that. But then after that, she's like, well, I probably won't run around and tell everybody, but, you know, whatever you're happy with, you're good. And then a week later, she calls me and says, I just watched some cooking show and they had a drag queen on it. You're way better than her.
So since the whole drag thing, how was coming out into the community? What are your memories? Where did you come out? What was happening? What was the vibe then, 92?
Well, originally, the first bar I went to was in Hamilton. And it was two of my friends, person I was working with. We went there, and they were a couple. And when we got home afterwards, my friend calls me. They'd had a big fight because half the club wanted one of them and half wanted the other one. So they said that I was trying to break them up, and I was screwing around with both of them. And I'm like, what? So I never went back. I thought, I don't need that. And then my first club in Toronto was Colby's. And I saw strippers for the first time. So I loved that. And I saw Pepsi.
Pepsi.
The very first drag queen I
name
saw.
of the old days,
and
yes.
Pepsi told me I looked like a lesbian. And I still hadn't started drag yet. The first bar I performed at was Bar One. Bar One in the talent show. Back then there was a lot of talent shows. And I started in Bar One, and then I would do all the contests all over town.
We're going to do the quick questions.
Okay.
Let's do this. Favorite season? Whatever comes to mind.
Spring.
Okay.
Well, not this year, but spring.
There it was. It went winter, summer now. Favorite way to unwind?
Comedy shows.
Right. Me too. What inspires you?
Well, drag-wise, I'm most inspired by creating a character impersonation.
Favorite drag-themed movie?
Priscilla.
Sure. Absolutely. Favorite, do you know what RuPaul Drag Race is?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, we
All
know.
over Facebook. I watched it.
Do you have a favorite queen on the show?
Well, I had friends on the show, many friends,
Oh.
so I don't want to offend any of you.
There we go. Let's stay safe.
But I'll say my favorite probably was Bianca Del Rio, more because
Who doesn't love
from
her?
seeing her on the
Yeah.
show. But then I met her in person at a party where they were filming a documentary.
Oh, cool.
And so we talked for about 10 minutes, and then I saw her the following year. And she's like, comes over to me and hugs me and says, "Oh, it's so good to see you again." And I thought, wow, she remembers
seems
me. And
personable,
she was
actually.
very friendly.
Favorite song to perform to?
So
That's a
many.
big question.
Well, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, it's a very, I call it my LSD trip because I get to go a little crazy. And my Bette Davis mix.
Okay. Okay. With that, last words to the audience and to the community.
Thank you for giving me 25 years of being able to be on a stage where I know I was born to be, and I'm very grateful for that. So thank you to all of you.
What a lovely message. This was a really great look at drag, don't you think? We got one more episode for the season, and it's going to be special, so watch out. You'll know why when you see it. And then we'll take a break and come back for season 5 in September. And we are going to have more positive, lovely, inspiring people from our LGBT community on the show. Meanwhile, you can get in touch with us on Facebook. And until next time, we love you. Thank you for watching. Cheers. All right. Thank you, Amanda. Thanks for doing it. All right. Yay. Everyone.